Yeah.
Thomas. You gotta be quick on your feet. So good reads. I think people will like it. They're gonna enjoy these. They'll have books, and then they're gonna do a deeper dive on these different groups, and maybe look at stuff. I've read a good book too with Australian bikies. What you call them, bikies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really interesting. The culture. It's an American phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
That's gone around the world,
Yeah.
and it's taken its own different spin and twist depending if you're in Asia, if you're in New Zealand. It depends where you're on how they change it. But what stays is that they like the bikes. A lot of them like the Harleys, and they also like the fraternity of the brotherhood. But the bad side is that's all good if they would stay like that, right? There's good
Yeah.
biker groups, right? And then there's the bad ones that get involved in the violence and the drug trafficking and all this stuff, and the
Yeah.
culture of making women property, which a lot of
Yeah.
people don't, they don't like that. Old ladies, right?
Yeah.
And keeping the
Yeah.
bike property of and exchange. That whole thing, people are just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it just goes a certain way where it would be fine if you're just getting together, having some drinks, working on your bikes, and going for bike rides. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But it goes a different route. It goes a different route, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think like, like the Hells Angels and stuff when they started, they did start off as criminal organizations, or they just transformed into it?
I think they just I think a lot of guys started after World War II just
Yeah.
to have something an outlet to do, right? Because
Yeah.
you're a combat veteran, right? You need something to get as an outlet, and I think unfortunately some bad people got involved, and it just became these one percenters where a lot of these guys end up becoming involved in drug trafficking. They become involved in extortion schemes. They get involved in many other violent schemes and fights, and just gets worse and worse. And these bike groups go at each other, and it looks
Yeah.
like they spend most of their time in these turf wars, right?
Yeah.
How to kill each other, and that's what you're seeing. I want to. Oh, this one killed this guy. He's sergeant arms. We're going to kill two others. It's like you kill one of ours, we go two, and it just keeps on escalating back and forth. Turf war between the Mongols and the Hell's Angels, Hell's Angels and the Outlaws. The Outlaws and the Pagans. I mean, the Mongols and this. I mean, it just keeps on going boom, boom, boom. The Banditos, maybe the Vagos. I mean, they just keep on fighting each other, and that's where it just
Yeah.
escalates. And then that's why I said it's going to end up one or two ways. If you're the head of one of these organizations, like Taco Bowman, life
Yeah.
imprisonment, or a lot of these guys, end up getting killed or talk like Doc Cavazos and stuff, or things that end up badly, or some people get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely that's something you want to get part of. It's something interesting to look at, but these guys are bad dudes. This is bad news here. It's something you look at a distance and you see what they're about, but there's a lot of good biker clubs out there. These are not those kind of clubs.
Yeah. Yeah. The different ones. Another thing I wanted to ask you is, like, you do the tax and stuff there. Do a lot of these guys get caught out because of the tax? They're living extravagant lifestyles, but they don't have jobs or anything. Is that?
Yeah, some of that's part of especially organized crime, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the cartels, with the money laundering. Some of these bike groups are getting more and more involved in that. And
Yeah.
tax evasion is a paper trail, right?
Yeah.
That's always easier to put a case together with that. But the violence with some of these groups is it's so egregious, right?
Yeah.
So out there that's end up doing them in. And when they get in a shootout at a casino in Nevada, Laughlin, between the
Yeah.
Hells Angels and the Mongols, that makes international news, right? If you
Yeah.
haven't seen that video, go look at Laughlin Casino in Nevada and look at the shootout and the stabbings between the Mongols and the Hells Angels.
Wow.
That got international news. The same thing happens, Hellraiser event in New York between the Pagans and the Hells Angels, right? They had
Yeah.
one. Sonny Barger was there. I think they were trying to kill him. An assassination attempt. That got ugly. So, I mean, it's just these guys get so warped in and it becomes payback. You kill my buddy, I'm going to come and kill your. So that cycle of violence just doesn't stop. Like the street gangs.
Yeah.
Street gangs are just, like I said, and the street gangs and the cartels. I don't see the biker groups or the mafia as strong as it used to be,
Yeah.
but I do see the cartels and the street gangs flourishing, becoming stronger than ever, and getting bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these kids are in poverty, they get in this culture, like El Chapo Guzman or Menchel, and I wrote a
Yeah.
great book on the rise of CJNG, which is a Jalisco New Generation Cartel, which is the bigger rival for Sinaloa. These guys came out of poverty, right?
Yeah.
Mass poverty, guys selling avocados or oranges on the streets,
Yeah.
and they rise up to the ranks. And how do they rise up? When they get recruited and they have to kill,
Yeah.
And if you know, like Al Capone, how did he rise up? He was a good killer. Bugsy Siegel, how these guys rise up? And yeah, these are killers. And Gotti, you learn how to become a really good assassin and killer. You get the respect, and they cross you, you kill them. If
Yeah.
they did something you didn't like, you kill them. If they disrespected you, you kill them. And that's what they learn. And you know, Colonel Chapo, man, when he was interviewed the second time he escaped from prison by Sean Penn and Kate Del Castillo, unbelievable interview. You haven't seen that from Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Check that out. The stuff he says. He said he himself killed 1,000 people with his own hands. Not when he became the head of the Sinaloa, ordering people to be executed. That's just him alone.
Wow.
So that's what it takes to grow up there. And he said he sold more drugs than Escobar. He said
Shit.
he's the biggest drug dealer in the history of the world. His
Yeah.
words before he got popped again. And now he's in the Supermax in Florence, Colorado. And I can say that he escaped twice. He's not escaping a third time anymore.
No, they won't let that happen.
But there's a funny meme out there if you want to get a good laugh with El Chapo in the prison cell looking at the camera. You know how tight the prison cell is, and he's there and he's looking at the camera. Unless there's an American that gets maybe popped for a DUI and there's a prisoner exchange.
Yeah.
Making fun of the Victor Bout exchange, right?
Yeah.
So you never know what could happen. Never know. There's a rumor going around that he's had it already. Just out there that he's willing to cooperate.
Wow.
But he's already sat in for a while. I think he's had it. He knows he can't get out of there. He knows he can't.
But who
Especially
can
he's
he give
watching
up?
his.
He's the top guy.
Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows where to find Mencho, right?
Yeah. Well,
His bounty. He's now the most wanted drug lord in the United States and Mexico. El
wow.
Chapo bounty. His name is El Mencho Cervantes. Um, Nemesio, first name. His bounty is 10 million. El Chapo it was 5 million after he escaped the second time.
Wow.
That tells you. But he's very different than how El Chapo runs Sinaloa. This guy was former law enforcement, right? Dirty cop,
Shit.
became a Sicario killer, right?
Yeah.
And he was a little background on Amencho to your audience who don't know him. He came in the 90s illegally in the United States. He was a heroin trafficker here in the San Francisco area. He got popped and reversed by DEA, him and his brother. His brother got life. He got 5 years. He gets deported back to Mexico after doing 4 or 5 years. He joins law enforcement in the Jalisco region. He's there for years, but he's dirty, obviously. And that's what I'm saying. There's huge corruption in Mexico. I just can't say that enough. In Mexico, Central America, and South America, enormous corruption. We do not have a fair partner in the war on drugs. Never, we haven't had it in years. And the same corruption is in Canada. I know the Canadians don't think it, but I showed you how corrupt there's issues in Canada also. All that festers up there. It's in the United States also to a point, but not as bad as what's going on in Mexico and Central America, South America. In fact, I'll go side story here. The former president of Honduras was extradited to the United States, Hernandez, for being a major drug trafficker, right?
Yeah.
And Nicolas Maduro, he was indicted for being a narco trafficker, right? Tied in what used to be called the FARC. So it's just all the way down.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. These guys, and he was a former communist, right? With Hugo Chavez. Communists, they want to be equal, right?
Yeah.
But this guy's nothing like that. He became a dictator, and his dad was a famous communist, Maduro's. No, not with this guy. And he grew up in a modest, and now he lives like a king. Stole the election, and I think it's a big mistake for the Biden administration. This back to politics again, giving Maduro a lifeline to oil because we're tired of Putin, what he's doing out there. So you got to pick your poison. I guess he's tired of Putin, so he's going to give Maduro a lifeline to have Chevron start pumping oil out of there so we can get cheaper. I think that's a mistake. I think it's time for him to go. He should be indicted. There is a reward for his arrest also. So how you doing with him? He's been indicted. So all those things are out there. So El Mencho, going back to him, he goes back. He becomes a dirty cop. He then becomes a hitman for the Sinaloa under the Millennium Cartel, right? He works for the Millennium Cartel, which is at that time tied in with the Sinaloa. So El Chapo knows this guy. He's a Sicario. He has other guys who are dirty working with him. Millennium breaks up and they become what they call the Mata Zetas, the Zeta killers. Los Zetas, very different than some of these other groups. Los Zetas like to kill random people a lot. They're not just like the mafia or other groups. They have a reason to kill, like MS-13. MS-13 is very bloodthirsty. They love having body count. They see a couple walking down the street. they'll look at him and say, hey, let's kill these people. No reason why, because
Yeah.
ICE want to kill people, and that's what we do. Los Zetas, the same thing. They have no problem hijacking a big bus full of
Yeah.
people and committing house of horrors, taken back to the ranch. And it's famously documented in my books. You can take a look at the Mexican cartels, and you can see about it. They created one scenario in this ranch, like a Roman Colosseum,
Yeah.
where they'll give one person a hammer and one person a bat, and see they kill each other, and see who goes up the next round. And they just kept on doing that with these poor people, back and forth, all the way to the one who survived. And they'll say kill the most, and said, hey, you can kill. We're going to offer you a position with Sicario as a killer for us. I don't think that's a
Oh,
position you can turn down, right? One
yeah.
day you're an average Joe on a bus trying to go to work, and next thing you're fighting for your life, killing people so you can live, and next thing you're working for this outfit as a Sicario. Unbelievable.
That's
Unbelievable.
insane.
So that's insane. So they didn't like that about Los Zetas.
Yeah.
So they went to war with Los Zetas. They said that's wrong to target innocent people. You understand if you have beef with someone in the organization, you have beef with police or the military who are fighting you, but to randomly pick average people who are just struggling to make a living, to kill them, to make shows out of them, how they can do horrible things to people, they're monsters, right? They're
Yeah.
savages and monsters do that. But they grew up at a young age doing that, right? You're doing that 14, 15, you're desensitized, and it's okay to kill. It's okay to kill. They have rooms that people go in and don't come out, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing they're doing is just working on their killing techniques, how you can kill someone. That's what they're doing. So they went to war with Los Zetas. They break apart, and then he formed CJNG. Okay, so we're looking about now 5-6 years ago, Cartel New Generation. They start getting bigger and bigger and going back, and this is in the Guadalajara region, in that area. So they have a split. Guys who he brought in, right? El Mencho, El Cholo, and others want to go and make La Plaza Nueva, the new plaza. They want to take over that region and get rid of him. Not so easy, because he is well trained. He has RPGs. It's not uncommon for him to take down military helicopters with RPGs. It's not uncommon to ambush a police himself, about 40, 50 guys, and killing like 20 of them. Very, very common for him to do that. So El Cholo, they end up kidnapping him, which was trying to form a plaza. And there's a video, if you go online, you take a look at it, you see him surrounded, guys in black masks, have CJNG. And next thing you see is him tortured and he's killed, and he's wrapped up in plastic black wrapping on a park bench in Guadalajara with a sign that says, "This is El Cholo the traitor."
No.
This is El Cholo the traitor. So look at those pictures online. This just happened in September. Look at those pictures. This is all going on right now. This is like the mafia we talk about ancient war. This is the battles that are going on right now
Today.
in Mexico, the United States, the cartels. This is it right here. This is why they're worth, according to the Mexican government, CJNG. That's what I call the rise of a narco empire. They're the big ones, I think, now. It's worth over 50 billion assets. A guy in absolute poverty has assets of $50 billion. Well, of course, these guys are going to go in that.
Yeah.
I mean, and he dropped out of, I think, school in 5th grade. Just like, semi-illiterate. These guys are semi-illiterate, but what they become good at, they become good at killing.
Yeah.
These guys are killers, and they learn how to kill. No different than Al Capone, who dropped out of school, Bugsy Siegel, who dropped out of school. I mean, all these guys, but they've learned how to kill, and they become good, at it. And that's how they rise up in the ranks. So he's different than El Chapo, that in the sense that he doesn't have a huge house like these guys, like Escobar used to live. Everybody knew where he was, right? Everybody knew where El Chapo was, kind of. This guy hides a lot in modest homes and goes around. And anything that's unusual is reading, they relocate. Again, he has a tight team around him, and he doesn't do things like they want to. So that's why the bounty is so high. Maybe El Chapo can do something with him. Maybe he has information that can help find El Mencho.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it just seems like it just splinters. And the real solution is, this is not going to stop, my opinion. It only stops when people stop using the product, right? Treatment. And kids in an early age have to not use it, because it just becomes a problem. So we have to learn a lesson about this. Treatment with it. And we'll see where it works. But that's a good read, I think. If people don't know much about El Mencho and CJNG, The Rise of a Narco Empire, I think you'll like that book also.
Yeah. I've got that book of yours. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I think you'll like. He's fast, and this is happening. This is all stuff happening. Interesting little story. Side note, I remember now. Allegedly, they report him dead a few months ago. El Mencho. The president of Mexico, Lopez Obrador, had a press conference saying that it was not true, that they suspect he's still alive. He has a lot of money. and he built a hospital, a private hospital in Guadalajara. These guys are the kings of having tunnels and everything. He has health issues, and I guess he has some issues with his kidney and liver, right? So he needs a lot of treatment.
Yep.
And he might have had COVID, and a lot of people thought he died from COVID about there, but a lot of people think that was just a ruse and a lie. Some people think he's dead, but he's still out there. So these guys are the masters of tunnels, underground tunnel. They're always escaping. If you look at around El Chapo, he was called El Chapo, but then he also called him El Rápido, the fast one, because every time police came close, boom, he's gone.
Wow.
Just like he was in that prison, right? Look at those pictures. You haven't seen those pictures. Take a look at it. I know it's been a few years, but take a look at that elaborate tunnel they had built underneath the security system. Talk about buying people out, huh?
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. And that little moped he had that took him all the way back.
Yeah,
people, you can't make this stuff up, man. That's why I like, in some ways, nonfiction better than fiction, because it is unbelievable. He said, no, this all happened. This is all real stuff that happened in our world.
It's like
and
an
people
actual
like
movie.
Scratch their head.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely stuff of movies. That's why Sean Penn. I mean, I still can't believe Sean Penn went to the mountains of Sinaloa to interview him.
Yeah.
Right? With Tel Castillo. After he's a fugitive, he's the most wanted man probably in the world, and you're gonna go talk to him over there?
Yeah.
I don't think I would have done that. That's for sure.
Surprised he came out alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Surprised he ended up in an internet video, right?
Yeah.
House of Horrors.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? That sounds like a trap. But he got away with it. He did it. Great article. If you haven't read it, look at Rolling Stone magazine years ago. But I enjoyed it, and fascinating insight on what El Chapo says. You like true crime?
Yeah.
Probably the biggest drug lord, if not for now, maybe bigger than Escobar, and the stuff. His mindset, how he says that he is the biggest drug trafficker in the history of the world, and probably one of the biggest killers too.
Wow. Yeah,
that's pretty good stuff there.
To say it himself too. That's pretty nice.
It's everywhere, unfortunately, and you guys seen it. If people want to consume it, they'll find a way to get to it. There's a big push here, maybe in Australia also, to legalize marijuana for personal use and for medical use. You're seeing it more and more. So that at least that's going to hurt them a little bit on the marijuana side.
Yeah,
they cultivate a lot in Mexico.
I think they're going that way.
Yeah, I think they legalize it. That's going to hurt a lot. At least they'll be able to tax it, and there'll be a safe way. Instead of, I hate to see kids, college kids, high school kids, go in these bad areas sometimes to get some marijuana, right?
Yeah,
they're going to do that in small amounts. I think we see that as a society we're going towards that era. Cocaine and heroin has to be done differently, and those are things that we have to work on. I think treatment is the big factor in that factor there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that will hurt them, with the marijuana as well, like you said. That'll at least take
at least you tax them everything else. I mean, you see more and more places have these shops where they sell small amounts, and it's a safer environment than people going in the streets trying to get it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they said, Thomas Jefferson also grew, marijuana in his field out there and smoked, and other people. So it's been around for hundreds of years, maybe more.
Yeah.
It's part of a lot more natural, like tobacco and, alcohol. They say it's more dangerous than marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they learned from Prohibition, with the outfit, that it wasn't working. You have to legalize it.
Yeah, people are going to do it anyway.
People have to learn their lessons, that history is going to repeat itself. Hey, it didn't work then in the 20s and 30s. In 33, they decided to reverse Prohibition. It was just getting out of control, making these gangsters filthy rich, right? Yeah. That's what happened to cartels. They become filthy rich because it's illegal.
Yeah.
So we have to think it. We've been fighting this war on drugs for 60 years, 70 years. Nothing's changing. These guys get more violent, more sophisticated, and bigger. Yep. So we have to take a different approach.
Yeah, tax them.
Tax this part here and help with treatment. Lots of treatment. And those who are caught with personal use, instead of clogging the judicial system, I think it's good to get them in treatments, right? Now, if you're a major violent trafficker, that's different.
Yeah.
But those who are personal use, they have to get treatment. I think that's something we have to find, because we can't just keep on incarcerating people. Zero tolerance, ZT attitude really is not good, I think, for the judicial system. It's not good for law enforcement, and it's not good for the average person. That they need help. People need to get the help they need, get off it, and get back in their lives. That's just the way I see it. Someone who's been 26 years in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Go after the repeat violent offenders, people who are a menace to society, not those who are using small amounts. You don't want to waste your time on that kind of things.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you there. So
Be
what's
more,
this?
have to be smart. Be
Yeah.
smart with your assets. Be smart with your assets. That's my message.
Yeah. Definitely. What's your next book that you're gonna write? Do you have an idea? What
I'm
you?
taking. I'm thinking. People give me a lot of good ideas, and I'm looking for people. I just did a shout out again to Adrian Martinez. We had a
He's great.
survey, yeah, and it was Mexican Mafia, and I started writing MS-13, MS-13, Mexican Mafia, Los Zetas, and Bloods and Crips, right? And I thought people would want
Yeah.
to see MS-13,
Yeah.
but La M ran away with it. So
Wow.
I started MS-13. I finished that one. That's out there. The savagery and brutality MS-13, La Mala Salvatrucha, and then I have also La M, Mexican Mafia, which is
Yeah.
great reads in there and how they're tied together with the cartels and how they're just flourishing and getting bigger and bigger and stronger. So if you don't know much
Yeah.
about these guys, read about it. And I know we touched a little bit on the videos we have, the shorts on the
Yep.
prison gang killers, which is out. That's another good book too. If you don't know much about prison gangs, read that one too, and at least you'll see a little bit of the Aryan Brotherhood. You'll see about the Black Guerrilla family. You'll see about Bloods and Crips, and a little bit of all the groups that are out there. Nuestra Familia, which is big rivals, by the way, with La M. Yeah, the Sureños and Norteños are Southerners and Northerners are big rivals fighting each other all the
Yep.
time. So, and they're spread out. So, it's a good read, fascinating. Right now, I have a few weeks, take a break with my family. I'm looking for more ideas. So,
Yep.
if you have an idea you think you want me to write about too, please, have your audience viewers let me know what they
Yeah.
would like to me to write about. I'll like some people asked me to do a deeper dive. I think it was Hollywood Wade about the Aryan Brotherhood. I wrote a
Yep.
chapter about a lot of stuff going on with them. I'm maybe looking at Los Zetas also, other crime syndicates. Let me know what's interest out there, and I'll do a nice good short book on it.
Yeah. I'd still love to see you do one on like Pol Pot in Cambodia.
Cambodia. Okay,
Yeah. Something like that.
the killing fields. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. And then I guess how the government's gone today, because it looks like they're controlling the media and everything there now and stuff.
You have a lot of Cambodians in Australia.
Uh, yeah, I think there's a few. Yeah, like I've met a couple,
Yeah,
but
there's some in the United States also for sure. Vietnamese,
yeah,
obviously from the war. So a lot of that
yeah,
adds to what happened with the communists and how
yeah,
it didn't work, right? The
yeah,
brutality. But Xi Jinping is the same way, man.
yeah,
That guy is he's bad news, and that's why he doesn't like that Australia is so close to us. And I know I mentioned that last time. And now having nuclear submarines down the road, that's
yeah,
really. But he's having internal issues himself. I'm
yeah,
seeing those massive protests. The CCP is losing control,
yeah,
and the whole thing with COVID and the way they control people. The younger generation, like I said, wants their freedom. They don't
yeah,
want to be controlled by this government, the central party. They want to have nobody wants a central party. They want diversity, right? They
yeah,
want to pick and choose. And we have one central regime, one central party controlling you. That's something of the past. We're moving forward in a new century, 21st century, where that's not doesn't work anymore. People are not going to tolerate that. They expect better.
yeah. Do you think they'll
Yeah.
still invade Taiwan?
I don't think now. I think he's worried to hold on power.
Yeah,
She must go. I mean, they're chanting "She must go." I
yeah.
mean, that's unbelievable.
Doesn't he
People haven't seen those
declare
videos.
himself in power forever or something?
He said for at least another 5 years, and then
Yeah.
she must go.
Wow.
He must CCP bring down the CCP. I mean, they were chanting this in the streets of Beijing, the capital, and in the streets of Shanghai, and other major cities. I mean, Hong Kong. I mean, people must you got to take a look at that. They're
Yeah.
having. I think it's time for them. Like anything else, communism doesn't last forever. You saw what
Yeah.
happened in the Soviet Union. You saw what happened in other nations where it falls in Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah.
In Romania and Poland and in East Berlin and East Germany, right?
Yeah.
It just happens. Venezuela, it should be falling. In Cuba, people are fed up with it.
Yeah.
North Korea is another bad one, right? He's more of a
Yeah.
dictator.
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
Little Rocket Man, Trump dubbed him, right? Little Rocket Man.
Yeah.
But he still fires those rockets, right? He
Yeah.
still fires those rockets and gets himself in trouble. One
Yeah.
day he's going to hit someone. This is another thing. I hate to say it. You asked me about Taiwan. I'll say about this guy. I think one of those rockets is going to hit Japan because they
Yeah.
fly over Japan all the time. And I think
Yeah.
that they're going to hit, and then that's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah.
And because China's having issues right now within, I think that's the end of Little Rocket Man.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not going to worry about protecting him.
No, he's a man child, right? I'd like to have
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman over to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
you can't. I'm saying nonfiction, but you can't make this stuff up.
yeah.
That's why I love it. You want to write about Coasting? Dennis Rodman. If you haven't seen those pictures of him visiting Kim Jong Un playing basketball,
Yeah.
you gotta look at that. Literally, he was a huge Chicago Bulls fan growing up.
Wow.
So
Holy, I didn't know
you gotta
that.
watch that. They call him Fatty. That's what they call him over there, Fatty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call him all these kind of names, and he's really he shouldn't be there. He's unfit, like
Yeah.
everything else. I still can't believe Trump met with him, but
Yeah.
that's he does things his way.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to write a book about any more mafia books coming out with the Italian mob?
Yeah, I'm open for anybody. If your audience wants to give me some ideas, I'm
Yeah.
putting it out there different places. If any you want to do on John Gotti, if you is there a particular organization, the Gambino family, you want me to do more specific on them, or you want me to do more on another group, I'm good for that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But I just don't see, like I said, the Italian mafia, what it was
Yeah.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's not the days of Al Capone and the outfit anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much broken, beaten. Very few guys are involved in serious crimes, violence anymore. You don't see the big names. You don't see a big name that stands out anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who Gotti was, right?
Yeah.
So
Now
you see that
says.
in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Really.
So my interest is what's going on now.
Yeah.
Well, my interest is in the cartels. And I
Yeah.
keep on writing more because the more I dig into them, the more I'm seeing. And what's really good writing, I mean, if you guys speak Spanish, but it's translated, you can get it translated. They have great
Yeah.
investigators in there, journalists who are very courageous. And you put a lot of interesting stuff about these cartel guys out there. And I think if you read about it, you see it, you'll see how bad these guys are. So I'm really fascinated with the cartels. The street gangs impact us because they're so violent here.
Yeah.
So especially the culture of MS-13, Masaratucha. Those who don't know, started here as Salvadorian immigrants, protecting them from other groups, right? And then they start getting deported, and they brought it over there in El Salvador, and it's expanded that you wouldn't believe in El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, southern Mexico. They're all over the United States. I mean, I'm here in Virginia, and they have MS-13 killings all the time here in Virginia.
Yeah.
And they started
That's
in
crazy.
California, right? Yeah, there's one case out here near Alexandria where it was MS-13 member suspected this female was an informant, right? She had her baby in a carriage. They take her in the back of the park. They execute her. The baby starts crying, and they kill the baby also. Yeah. Yeah, this is
Crazy.
the kind of people that they are. Yeah, they're
In
bad, bad,
Virginia.
bad, bad. Virginia. Yeah, so it's everywhere, man. In Canada,
Yeah.
these groups are up in a lot of Salvadorian immigrants in Canada because you have a lot here in Virginia. So they're all over. They're all over, and these are the kind of people you be careful and dangerous, violent, ruthless, and like I said, very bloodthirsty,
Yeah.
extremely bloodthirsty people. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. A
So
lot of
if
yeah.
yeah, so
I don't
if
know what to
anybody
say.
in your groups or in your audiences and viewers have any other ideas, you want to do a survey, we can do that too.
Yeah,
And
so I
then
was
I'll write
saying
a
we'll do a
book.
survey.
And then we do a book just like I did with Hollywood Wade. Who
Yeah.
I did one with him first. I started that with him, with Sonny Barger, Taco Bowman, Doc Cavazos, and Sonny Barger one. But I decided to do the rest of them also. So
Yeah.
I cranked those out, and you saw that. And now
Yeah.
with these two, I did one with MS-13, and so we can pick some. If you want to do Italian Mafia, I know you guys like that. Give me some ideas of guys you have interest in, right?
Yeah.
That you think have a lot of interest, either the family or individual, whichever.
Yeah.
We can do it. I mean, I found the Chicago outfit. Even though I did kind of do a book on the Chicago crime bosses, which is pretty interesting. From Al Capone and Nika and all these guys and Cardi and just the whole organization, right?
Yeah.
But they're nothing what they used to be, right? They're not what they were before. L.A. Mobsters is good too with Jack Dragna. So if you don't know much about him, Bugsy Siegel in Los Angeles out there, the rivalry with Dragna, right? Mickey Cohen's out there.
yeah,
So he was a former professional boxer who
cool.
also becomes a mobster. I mean, there's some interesting stories. So if you don't know that one, I think you should read L.A. Mobster. I think it's pretty cool. And how did
Check
Bugsy
that
Siegel get
out.
assassinated? In
Yeah,
Virginia in Beverly Hills, right? One of the most ritzy neighborhoods ever. He gets
yeah,
assassinated in his girlfriend's home, Virginia Hills house. Was an M1 carbine,
yeah,
an assassin style, right? They poked the gun through the window,
yeah,
and it still has never been solved.
yeah,
And never, it's a lot of crazy stories. I'm saying, like I said, nonfiction, I think is better than fiction in some ways.
yeah. And
I can tell stories all days. I lived it. I write about it, and I love talking about it. So I
yeah.
enjoy being with you guys.
No, I love talking to you about it too. It's awesome. I've been looking forward to this. And
Yeah, man, and your shows are awesome too. With a lot of those actors from The Sopranos, I watched
yeah,
a few of them. Shout out with those shows too. So you're doing good. It's season 2, right?
yeah, season 2 now.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah,
Now, and I also enjoyed the show you did with William Steele, which I recommended. That
yeah.
was outstanding.
Appreciate you for hooking that up. Actually, yeah. We
Yeah,
uh
for sure,
we
man, for sure.
we talked about you on there as well. Yeah, here's a
Yeah, I
great
saw that.
guest.
Yes, yes. Good show on A&E. I haven't seen it. Inmate to Roommate. Check it out.
Yeah.
They call him a breakout reality TV star.
Yeah, that family has got given to his nuts. I don't
Yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I won't spoil it for anyone, but go and check it out.
No, for sure.
He's a great guy. Have you got anything more planned with him? Like going on? That was a great show he's did recently. You seen it?
Yeah, no, I keep on doing a lot of shows. No, that's for sure.
Yeah,
That doesn't stop. I get people calling me and asking me to come on all the time. I have a nice
yeah,
little network. I've done shows. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube. You can type in my name. If you like the content here, please enjoy them all out there. I'm also now on Rumble a lot, and I
yeah.
think you put some stuff on Rumble too, right?
Yeah, I started going on there, so I got yours and my one up there, and yeah, I've
Yeah, Rumble's
slowly getting
becoming big. They
everything.
just went public. They went public on Nasdaq a few months ago, and
Wow.
they're becoming like a big rival for YouTube. So check them out. Also, I mean, my
Yeah,
content. It depends. Some shows do really good on YouTube or do okay, and then I did one with William Steele and has almost 8,000 views.
yeah, that's
So
crazy.
you can
Yeah,
get some good numbers, really good numbers. I think people like our content. They're not as strict as YouTube,
yeah,
so that's why you can see some things that you don't see in other places. So now I've done shows with Bill Stacks. I just did a cool one with Bill Crooks that's going to be coming out, which was a podcast, which is about my life. So I'm going to put that out there,
yeah,
which is pretty in depth about my life. So really cool show that he does. So I'll put that out there so people can see Bill Crooks as a real good. Like I said, Hollywood Wade, a lot of shows. Um, Also with Scott Bernstein. I did a great show with him also. So quite a few guys out there, quite a few. And of course,
yes,
this is our second one we've done, but we've done a lot of parts with it. So I think this could be another one.
yeah. I think this will definitely be another two-parters. It's
Yeah.
good, man. So like,
And I think the shorts are very good too. And also check out the one I did with Stephen Gillen, Stephen
yeah,
Gillen from RMC. Very good. That was more like a production. Very interesting. We had a director and everything else. So I enjoyed doing that show too, out of England, out of London.
oh
So
wow,
a lot,
okay,
yeah, a lot of cool stuff, man. A lot of cool stuff, and I enjoy reaching out to your the Aussies down under.
yeah. No, I love talking
It's
to
been a
you.
while. I haven't been there. I want to go back with my family. I told you last time, 1990, I was there. Played
Tennis,
some
yeah,
tennis in Melbourne, yeah, at the Australian Open. Beautiful facility out there. Played in New Zealand. Met a lot of people's homes. Met in Canberra. Went to Sydney, Melbourne, New Zealand, Auckland. Loved it. Loved it. Loved
yeah,
it. Would love to go back with my family. Beautiful landscape. Beautiful country. Enjoyed it.
yeah. Definitely come over. We'll have to catch up, and it'd be awesome to
Koalas.
meet you.
I lo- yeah, man, that'd be great. I love the koalas, and I love. But you live on the west side or the east side?
West side. All my family's over on the east side there.
Oh, okay,
But
cool. What like Perth is on the west side, right?
yeah, yeah. Uh,
You live near there?
no, I'm further north in Port
Oh,
Hedland.
north. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Good, good, good.
Yeah,
No, I haven't been there. The only part of Australia I've been to was the east side, and
yeah,
that's it. I would love to explore more of Australia for sure.
yeah,
it's a continent.
yeah. It's so much to see here and do. I
Yeah.
still haven't seen a lot of it myself. Been trying to. But,
Have you been to oh gosh, I just got blank for a second. That little island off Australia. What's it called?
oh, Tasmania.
Tasmania.
Yeah, I've never
I would like
been
to go to
there.
Tasmania.
Yeah, I've heard it's
I love
nice.
animals too. I would love to see the Tasmanian devil
Yeah,
out there. Very aggressive. I love animals too. So I love when I went to Australia. I've done maybe I'll do a book on that too because I have a passion for that. I'm a conservationist and I love watching them in their environment. Right.
yeah,
I love seeing them in there. And there's nothing like seeing. I like seeing the koalas and
yeah.
the dingoes and all the different other
Love
kangaroos.
koalas. Yeah,
Fascinating. Yeah, especially the kangaroos, huh?
yeah, yeah. If I ever win the lottery, I'll be making like a sanctuary, like a little
Mhm.
thing for the koalas, kangaroos, and everything. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love to do that. So I definitely enjoyed that experience. I did a lot of that when I was in Australia, enjoying
Yeah,
the wildlife out there. So definitely want to go out there
yeah.
back and do that. New Zealand is beautiful too. And then I also went to the Fiji Islands.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I would love to go check that out. This time my girls getting bigger. Now that COVID is lifting and everything else, it's hopefully traveling back again. So
yeah,
good things, all good things.
yeah. Definitely, there's a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, well, sounds good, Thomas.
Yes.
I know you asked me about movies and stuff, and last time I'm trying to think. I did enjoy recently. My girls did Black Panther, the recent one, the new one.
No,
Has that
I
come
haven't
out? Have
seen
you guys
that.
seen that?
No, I haven't seen it yet. It's good.
Yeah, very good special effects, good messaging out there. A
Yeah,
little long, I have
yeah.
to tell you. It's almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh wow. I'll I'll I'll
I
definitely watch it though.
yes. Don't drink a lot of soda before you go watch a movie.
Yeah. Be holding on for a while.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And looking for documentaries and I did look at the one at US Annapolis that we had talked about.
Ah, the with
Remember?
the shark one.
Yeah,
Did
man,
you find the
that's
movie?
I saw a little bit. I saw the preview for that one, but look at the documentaries that are
Yeah,
about that. If you haven't seen that, we talked about it last time on the show. There,
yeah,
unbelievable stories. Like I said, nonfiction is stranger than fiction for
yeah.
sure.
It still gives me chills thinking about that movie. Like, and
I
yeah,
can
it's a
imagine being
story.
in pitch dark like that, and you get
Yeah,
hit by a Japanese torpedo in World War II, and all of a sudden you're seeing your fellow sailors getting devoured and getting heard the screams. That's going to hear the screams from these monster tiger sharks and other sharks are coming. It became a massive frenzy
yeah,
that hundreds and hundreds of people get devoured and killed. Horrible, horrible situation.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
how
If you
unlucky.
haven't seen that,
Yeah,
the doc USS Indianapolis,
yeah,
check that out. Check that out. That's amazing history right there for you.
yeah. I've been. I don't know if you. I've started watching a show with my wife. I don't know if you've seen the Peaky Blinders.
Mm-mm.
I think you'd like that one too. It's like over in
Where's it
like
streaming on?
it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So
Peaky Blinders. What's that about?
it's like gangs over in England,
Oh,
like
okay.
starting out, and these guys, yeah, it's these brothers, and they're in the First World War, and it's just after that. But yeah, yeah, I think you'd like it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll take a look at it. But let's do that survey. We'll talk later
Yeah,
about it, and we'll come up with a list, and we'll let people vote on either YouTube channel or somewhere other place. And then after a few weeks, I'm gonna take a few weeks off. When I come back in January, we'll see who
yeah,
the winner is.
yeah, yeah. We'll do that.
We'll do a book, and then I'll come back later talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. We'll do that. That sounds like a good idea.
All right, Thomas. Sounds good, man. Well, hopefully you have good plans for the holidays. Everything
Yeah,
good?
yeah, yeah. Just working.
Just working. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well,
But
work's
yeah,
good.
nothing bad. Like yeah, it's good. Still got the family here, so yeah.
That's excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I'm taking a few weeks off and going back home to Florida for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, nice.
spend time out there. So a little warmer weather too, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good, man. Spend time with the family, travel.
Yeah. It's getting now to the 20s and teens out here in Virginia.
Yeah, okay. What are you saying,
So
like
snow's coming.
Fahrenheit? Oh yeah, okay.
Fahrenheit. Yeah, Fahrenheit. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, we've
Celsius.
had some.
It's below zero in Celsius. It's below freezing.
Well, we've been like 44 degrees Celsius here a few times. It's hot.
Yeah, but you're in summer over there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that.
you're reverse. You guys are reverse everything, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I found that fascinating. When I went in the
yeah, it's
summer, it was cold weather over there, which I really enjoyed.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it's good.
it's different. The time change is different. The whole culture. It takes a while to get there. So when you do travel out there, I recommend everybody spend some time.
Yeah,
Spend at least 2 or 3 weeks. It's a long trip out there.
yeah, yeah, definitely long flight.
And of course, you come to the United States, man, feel free to come out here in Virginia. We can hang out here. Have you been to
Yeah,
the United States?
no, never. I've always wanted to go over, but
Oh, we had a great
it's
trip.
just
You got to visit. A lot of things
it's
to do
never
in
happened.
the U.S. Very diverse country. For those who don't know, in Australia, who've never been to America, a diversity of people, different cultures. You have the South, you have the North, you have the Midwest, and even within that, you go to Miami. Miami is very different, and if you go to the Deep South, to Atlanta, and if you go to New York City, that's extremely different and very congested. But then if you love nature and wide open, I suggest you go to the West and enjoy like South Dakota, Montana. You
Yeah,
can go out to the beautiful park. We have beautiful national parks out here, which I've been enjoying. So
yeah,
a lot to do, a lot of things. And of course, you want tourist things, you always go to Florida and see Disney, right?
yeah, yeah. Definitely one day we'll make our way over there. That's something on the list.
Awesome. Sounds good, Thomas.
And yeah, no, we'll definitely catch up if I come over or when I come
Yeah, for
over.
sure. Well,
Yeah,
we'll keep in touch.
yeah,
Absolutely.